So, if you guys don't know, Ethan Klein, H3H3, is Big Baby Rage Mad at BBTV, Broadband TV. It's an MCN, a multi-channel network. Multi-channel networks are most infamously known for hiring YouTubers under contracts. They're usually very predatory, and in exchange of these contracts, they give them these services that don't really quite do much for the actual person. In exchange, they might be entitled to 10, 20, even 30 or 40% of your income, regardless of how much you made. Imagine you blow up and suddenly you're a huge YouTuber and they're still taking 50% cut of your money. That's what MCNs do. There's been an issue with Ethan Klein. He said, hey guys, we're aware that memberships were just paused. We were forced to make some last minute channel changes because we discovered our MCN Broadband TV Corp. And CEO Shazrad Rafati took $620,000 from our membership revenue and is refusing to return it. More on it Monday. The CEO of BBTV is currently private. It's protected. Usually not a good look when you are the CEO of a major band that is getting criticized and then you go private.
Let's see. I joined them in 2017 and the deal we had with them, we would get 100% of everything.
100% of everything? That's got to be capped. Now, how does BBTV make money if they get 100% of everything?
I want Ethan to read an ad in his video. So if they brought us that, then they would get a cut of that.
Okay, he literally said 100% of everything, but he's saying, so it sounds like they made money based off of what he's saying is sponsorships.
Yeah, but everything we made through YouTube, 100% of YouTube revenue came to us. Recently, I got my payment stub from them like usual, which shows basically how much they paid us. And when I went into YouTube analytics, I noticed it was like significantly off. And as far as we could tell, they had skimmed $620,000 at least, right? That's just from what we can tell from specifically the membership money.
YouTube memberships actually started in 2018. For the past couple of years, I have been getting hawked by them, by several associates trying to get me to join. And I also know of a bunch of other YouTubers as well that have recently been aggressively getting hawked. So I know BBTV is out there trying to mass recruit right now. I know that they recently took out a huge loan to continue business. I think they are publicly traded. So their finances should be visible for us to see in terms of their debt, their equity, their cash flow, their investment, their profit, their net losses. Their stock has been tanking for the past year, but the question is why? My guess is based off what I've been seeing so far is that they might be running into a liquidity issue where they might become insolvent. Some people are suggesting that they may come Chapter 14 bankrupt. If you don't know what I'm saying, debt, you know what debt is. And in terms of liquidity, liquidity is how much cash you have on hand. Assets that are liquidable are just assets that can easily convert into actual tangible money. So banks sometimes require that you have a specific type of amount of cash reserves to show that, hey, can you continue paying me on time? And if you don't meet that requirement, you might go default on that bank loan. That bank can just take back the loan that they owe you, which is millions and millions of dollars, and be like, look, I don't think you're gonna be able to pay this. We're gonna liquidate you. Long story short, if you don't have a lot of cash and money on hand or enough to keep the reserves for the bank to feel safe and confident that you would pay them back, then they can fuck you up.
So if we go to, and this is the important parts, Google net revenue, of which we got 100%. Okay, it says BBTV will pay you an amount equal to 100% of Google net revenue received by BBTV from your videos or on your YouTube channels. Okay. So it says BBTV will pay you an amount equal to 100% of Google net revenue. Memberships is paid to me from Google. They says there's a clause if you go to other payments.
Additional revenue. In addition to the amount set out in the cover sheet and subject to BBT obtaining your prior written approval to use your content in the manner described below, BBTV will also pay you in accordance with the terms of this agreement an amount equal to the following. In the event that you provide your prior written approval for BBTV to use your videos on BBTV channel, 75% of other platform ad revenue received by BBTV from you, and 70% of other net revenue. This is such a stupidly worded contract that kind of makes it confusing. So that's the point. Other platform ad net revenue. What the fuck is that? That's a question when your lawyer says, what specifically is other platform ad net revenue on the other platform, and 70% of other net revenue, or as parties may agree upon in a writing or in case by case. So those two need to be defined here, specifically other platform at net revenue and other net revenue.
There was no There was no writing.
Or talk
There was
about
no
channel
case by
memberships.
case basis. This was them silently saying, oh, there's this huge new revenue stream coming in.
Yeah.
Let's fucking steal it secretly, silently, and hope they don't notice.
That's what I
this is
feel
what
like.
they're saying. They're saying, yes, it's other revenue.
Google net revenue for any period for revenue earned as Google ads and Google subscriptions. There it is. That's it. Google subscriptions. So you can't count Google subscriptions as not Google net revenue. They've already defined Google net revenue. Okay. It appears that the broadband TV has been withholding 30% of the sponsorship money going back as far as December 2020, possibly even earlier. The total amount withheld from us, as far as our records allow us to track, is $619,000. As you're well aware, our agreement with Broadband TV, which was established in 2017, clearly states that 100% of all revenue will go to H3 Podcasts. The only exception to this would be if Broadband TV directly bought a third-party sponsorship, in which case your company would receive a cut of the specific revenue. It has become apparent that this understanding has not been respected. I'm deeply concerned about the implications of this breach in our agreement. If you don't know, before this occurred, BBTV sent out an email to Kavos and a whole bunch of other people part of BBTV and saying, hey, the payments that you normally receive from us is getting delayed for like another 2 weeks. And you're like, wait, what? I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I got bills to pay. I was expecting that to come in so I can take care of my stuff. And now you're just telling me that my next paycheck out of nowhere is going to be late? So some of the responses here was, we have the same contract, 100% YouTube revenue with BBT from 2017. So they've been taking 70% of our memberships as well. I had the same agreement with BBTV from 2017. Already reviewing everything on our back end. It wouldn't surprise me if more creators have this unknown issue and begin coming forward. Edit. Yes, they've been taking 30% of our memberships as well. And this is Cabo saying, I've been with BBTV for 5 years. Every month on the 15th of each month, I've been paid for 5 years. Today, everyone receives this email telling us 1 day before payday. Wow. 1 day before payday that the payout has been moved to the next month. Luckily, I can afford to take They told them 1 day before you get paid out that they're pushing out and it got moved to the next month. Good Lord. They have to be facing a liquidity issue. It's got to be liquidity. Do they have to do they have to not pay out people in order to keep the cash reserve so they don't go default on their bank loan? Is this all time or is this over the year? This must be, no, this has got to be, this. I don't think this is, hold out. Let me check. That can't be 1 year. Woo! Oh my God. 1 year. They're down 81%. Oh shit. And this is why they've been so aggressive with hawking. And I'll tell you guys straight up in terms of the details of things that what's happening. But they've been trying to sign me up. They want a cut of my revenue. They've been trying to give me sign-on bonuses. And then I wouldn't, I'd be like, let me think about it. And then they've been trying to entice the offer more and more. But my guess is that if I signed up when they started taking my revenue, I wouldn't start actually getting payment for this stuff for months on end. They have got to be facing a liquidity issue. Let's see. In March 2022, they reported minus $12 million in net income. And then in June, they reported minus $14 million. Ain't no way if I'm an investor in this joint, I see these stats and I'm like, yeah, let me keep investing. BBTV Holdings Q4 and full year 22 earnings highlights presentation. So this presentation is BBTV trying to tell their investors, hey, this is a YouTube apology. Hey, so some shit went down. Why is Savage on here? That is Savage. Is he an investor? He has got to be an investor. Why is Savage on here? Savage must be a strong investor in BBTV. Anyway, BBTV is home to the world's most influential creators, 5,600 million unique views, 30 billion monthly views. All right, BBT increased viewership, leader in creator monetization. BBTV's tech platform provides comprehensive solutions to help creators increase their views, distribution, and engagement through content optimization. Content optimization is another term for bullshit. Okay? What these MCNs, or like they like to say, is we'll help you with your thumbnail. We'll help you with your title. We'll help you with your keywords and what you put in. Okay? It's all bullshit. We'll help you with giving you ad-free music. We'll help you with your SEO. All of that shit, you don't need no MCN for. There's a thing called TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy, that's what they probably use, is they give you access to a program that already exists. And say, here, you can have the access to this program. Yeah, freaking vidIQ. Oh my, so they have a contract with vidIQ and that's what they're using? That's crazy. Okay, so just quite literally just letting you guys know that is nothing. Increase programmatic ad volume. BBTV tech platforms provide content and brand safety to increase number of ads placed against content, which drives RPMs and revenue. Now this, in my opinion, is value. This is not bullshit, okay? Increase programmatic ad volume. I was trying to find a short-term contract. I was like, can I work with y'all for like 3 months, see how this goes? If I don't like it, I can get out. Let me just make sure that this is an actual thing, right? As I was like, let me just make sure this is an actual thing. But they kept trying to secure me for at least a year. BBTV Q4 2022 at a glance. Essential to creators. BBTV is essential to thousands of creators that rely on the platform to generate meaningful revenue. YouTube Shorts monetizations commencing. Currently onboarding billions of YouTube short views. 32 YouTube short views in Q4 2022. Plus 32% of BBTV's Q4 22 views are on YouTube Shorts. Now, YouTube Shorts monetization is absolutely garbage doo-doo butter. YouTube came out and said, hey, we're going to start monetizing your shorts. Unless you're like daily dose of the internet, you're not getting paid squat for your YouTube shorts. You can have a YouTube short that has millions and millions of views and you will get $7. So unless you are generating quite literally billions of views, YouTube Shorts ain't paying you nothing. Liquidity. Based on our forecast, this is what I really wanted to look at. Through various sources of capital, including BBTV's debt funding of $21.5 million subsequent to quarter end, the company has enough liquidity to meet our strategic objectives for the foreseeable future while minimizing shareholder dilution. How did they secure that loan? That's crazy. How did a failing business secure a $21.5 million loan? Because they have a failing business model right now. Nothing about this business model as an investor makes me think that this is a company that's going to last. Plus Solutions revenue growth. So they're focusing on the only program that has somehow allowed them to make money. They're not talking about so far their losses. The earnings call will talk about the losses. But this highlight thing is only going to highlight the best parts of them. This is like a resume. They're not going to tell you about the bad parts. How BBTV makes money. Base Solutions. 85% of total revenue. 60 to 70% of total gross profit. They get advertising sold by a third party. And they get to charge a fee. A platform fee. Then BBTV has a share and a revenue from the creator. The way that they present this is devious. I need to keep looking. And it just says, thank you. That's it. They're not addressing the huge drop. Okay, let's go to the earnings call. Let's go to the YouTube apology. Earnings call, aka the YouTube apology. Nah, the accountant didn't do it wrong. You can't mess up the highlights. BTV earnings call. Oh, by the way, did you guys know that you can support me by buying my Omni beanie? It's on weirdomni.com/ it's just weirdomni.com, no slash. But also, you can support me on Patreon as well. I'm actually doing a revamp on my Patreon. Okay, anyway, quarterly financials. What we want to figure out is this, guys. We want to figure out why they were losing money. Net income went down. They were losing minus 20 million, minus 4 million in September. We want to understand where this hit came from of minus 165 million. Here are the highlights, though. The highlights are important and worth mentioning. BBT ended with $19.4 million in cash and cash equivalents and utilized $11.7 million of its $15 million overdraft facility. I need their 10Q 10K. On October 31st, the company completed the acquisition of the assets of Out Loud Media. The acquisition bolsters BBTV's multi-platform partner solution, which focuses on redeploying existing creator content and other social media platforms such as Facebook and Snapchat to provide both BBTV and content creators with additional monetization opportunities. So they had an acquisition. Consider the acquisition of the assets comprises of a total fixed consideration of $0.2 million and a total variable performance-based earnout consideration of up to $4.8 million payable within the next 5 years after closing. Out Loud Media. What is Out Loud Media? They got bought out by these partners. Who are your partners? These are people. Strictly Dumpling, Gone to the Snow. Alex Wasabi. So it looks like they just acquired another MCN. Basically, the company has been saying that the reason why they've had a strong lack in revenue is because YouTube Shorts has taken over the views and has lowered their RPMs because they're not currently able to monetize the view counts from YouTube Shorts. So they get views and views and views and views that are empty. These are empty views. 1 million views from a creator from YouTube Shorts, but they're not getting monetized for it. Empty, which lowers their RPM, how much money they're making. But even with the monetization of YouTube Shorts, I cannot see that being the case. And is an explanation as to why they've had to push their payments back 2 weeks. Because they said specifically, BBTV is no longer able to assume the risk associated with providing partner payments out of the company's pocket. What they're saying is by paying these guys not within the 45 days, BBTV has been paying them early and has basically been paying them out of their own pocket, outside of the actual deadline that BBTV would be giving them their money, saying that the money would legally be theirs within the 45 days agreed upon the contract. 45 days after BBTV has received the income, that income is then legally owed to the creator. But before that 45 days, that money does not need to be given to them, and it is currently theirs for them to use however they need to do for the business. The schedule change was them from paying things early to paying things on time. This is all coming together. All right. Which means so far in this situation, from what I'm reading, what I'm looking at their financials, it doesn't seem like they've done anything illegal.